Hello everyone, welcome to this session of the Virtual Conservation Week. My name is David Chickering. I'm the Conservation Engineer at the Chippewa, Luce, Mackinac Conservation District. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about season extension. And so season extension is a nice way to phrase the concept of creating microclimates in your garden and in your growing spaces. So we're going to start kind of basic today and talk about a few simple ones and all kinds of options. And I'll show you some resources where you guys can learn more. And today we're going to start learning from Bob Vila. This is more just searching I did online, but he's got a nice website here about cold frames, which you can see here. This one has a nice image. The concept is this: you got a glass frame over a structure, that's wood or otherwise insulated a little bit, and then when the sun comes in, it's going to use the greenhouse effect and really warm it up in there. And then at night, if you close them, the soil will radiate some heat and that'll be trapped a little bit. So you'll get a little bit of a warmer microclimate. And the larger you go with something like this, the more buffering you'll have with your plants. So NRCS has this interesting plant materials program website, which is pretty nice and convenient. They've got technical publications here on the popular topics. I clicked into that. Oh, okay. A lot of stuff here you can click on, but this community garden guides tab has a bunch of these PDFs. I only clicked on a couple, but here's a high tunnel one, season extension garden guide, and it just tells you what a high tunnel is. You can see here they've kind of got like a cold frame set up in a high tunnel. So when you add more layers of protection like that, you're going to increase what's called your plant hardiness zone in theory. So you'll make a microclimate in there that's a little warmer than the exposed outdoor growing area that you're in. So this has a lot of good information here. You can see vegetable stuff, hoop houses, field tunnels, high tunnels, row cover. So all the way from really simple and basic to more expensive and more technology involved. That's a nice one. This also has a link to the field office technical guide, which I use quite a bit. So not quite as nice as that last website, but you can scroll here to Michigan or whatever state you're wanting to look at. Section 1 here has some maps and climate information. So I just want to show you what I was talking about with this plant hardiness zone map. This is a little bit older. They probably have an updated one somewhere. But it's a visual representation, and they make these categories based on the average annual extreme minimum temperature in your area. And it's a way people classify like what kind of plants will grow somewhere. So in Sault Ste. Marie, according to this here, you're in like a 4B or a 4A with the average annual extreme minimum temperature in this -20 to -30 range. That seems pretty accurate. So anyway, so that's what a hoop house does, and some sentinel growers in the hoop house community and season extension community claim each layer of protection will gain you a zone of growing temperature, microclimate. So that's a cool idea, cool concept. And in the north here where we are, just getting a few extra weeks on either end of the season, or taking it to the extreme where you ride plants through the winter can be really beneficial to your home gardens. So those technical publications, I highly recommend checking those out, and the community garden guides. The next one I wanted to show you guys today is the Michigan State University's Center for Regional Food Systems. Again, I search it. You can find it through the College of Ag and Natural Resources at Michigan State's website. And so the Center for Regional Food System, I'll read you their mission real quick. Their mission is to engage people of Michigan, the United States, and the world in applied research, education, and outreach to develop regionally integrated, sustainable food systems. So they're, that fits right in line with what we're talking about, having regional foods more widely available, more like having a grocery store in your backyard. So I clicked on the resources tab, and I wanted to show you guys today this. So I just clicked on this resources tab, and if you go over here to the guides, one of the guides I wanted to show you today was this Hoop House Production and Marketing Guide. And download that PDF. So this is kind of geared toward the Hoop House for Health program and like production marketing. So we went all the way from the cold frame along your fence to, you could have something way more extreme. This has a lot of cool information in it about the Hoop House for Health program, but also I think pretty useful growing information for trying to grow in one of these microclimates. So some spacing suggestions based on these different crops that are common to grow in a greenhouse setting in the Michigan area. They did probably most of this research in, looks like Owasso and also right around the Lansing area. But you can see just useful growing information, what you could expect from a yield in a good situation. And then they have these, excuse all the scrolling, here we go, warm season hoop house planning chart. Again, based in the Lansing area, but these are unheated greenhouse or hoop houses, and so this is pretty helpful as well. You can see this is when they would plant maybe seed into a tray, and then transplant into the earth, at what age, at what interval should I use, and then there's a cool season one too. And you can see the seed and transplant date might be earlier than you think, but you really want to take advantage of that end of summer sunshine to get those plants a head start for the winter. And then these are some nice crops that work well in the cold, all the way up in the UP too. People grow them here. So there's some useful information on season extension. I highly recommend looking into doing a cold frame if you're into gardening. If you're not, it's nice to know that you've got some techniques you could use in the area to make growing your own food and being a more sustainable household more achievable. NRCS has some programs for hoop houses too, so if you're really interested in boning up your garden, give your local NRCS office a call. So thanks again for stopping by for this Conservation Week, and I hope to see you around.